State.
And I think if you won that $32 million, you take your accountant with you to keep most of it.
That's right.
What we're going to do now real quickly, and thank you, Paul, from South Carolina
North
for
Carolina.
joining us. That's correct, huh?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Whoa, sorry. Thanks for joining us. This is awesome. I am going to introduce our speaker tonight. Our speaker is Peter Young. He has First Clicks Ads. This is his business. A little bit about Peter is that he has been in sales and marketing for over 12 years. He has trained and recruited and developed insurance agents and other entrepreneurs to run successful businesses. He is Google, I want to make sure I get this right, Google individually qualified.
That's right.
Okay. To set up and run ad campaigns on Google. So this is kind of new. It's called Google Adwords. And he is currently with First Click Ads, as I just mentioned, and he's developing a sales and distribution channel right now. He and his wife, Lisa, just celebrated their 24th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
And they
God
have
bless
two
you for
daughters
that.
that are currently in college. So without any further ado, first of all, hopefully you have this handout that he asked us to provide tonight. And there you go, Peter. Thank you.
All right, Peter.
Okay. First of all, I'll bet you guys didn't realize there was going to be homework, right? And there's also going to be an exam too. We're
Wow.
going to start with the exam first. Now, honestly, it's not a pass or fail, so you can't lose. Right, now, first of all, this is not a fortune cookie. Secondly, don't look at it yet. I want everybody to get one first. You guys can share. There he is. All right. Not yet. I'll say it. All right. All right. What I want you guys to do is silently to yourself, okay, turn over your little fortune cookie and read the sentence through one time. Silently to yourself, read the sentence to yourself just one time through. Now don't worry that it doesn't make sense, because it doesn't make sense. Okay? All right, everybody read it yet? Don't study it too hard, David. Okay. All right. Now what I want you to do is read it one more time, silently to yourself. Only this time, count the number of F's in the sentence. Count the number of F's in the sentence to yourself. Again, this is not meant to be a no-brainer. No-brainer. Okay. Are everybody done? All right. How many counted at least 3 F's? 3? Okay, great. I heard that all. All right. How many saw 4? You saw 4? Anybody see 5? Okay. Anybody see 6? There are 6 F's in this sentence. Okay, let's count. Finished files are the results of years of scientific study combined with the experience of many years. Now you guys all got the same sentence.
Interesting.
Why is it that most of you only counted 3 F's?
We delete
The U's.
The U's. Okay, let me ask you, why do you think you missed the U's?
It's an insignificant word.
Right. I missed that too.
There's another reason why too. It was a trick, okay? When I asked you to count the number of F's to yourself silently, you were listening for the hard F sound, okay? And so, because when you were pronouncing, scientific, finished files, right, the hard F, you were listening for it with your mind. And when you didn't hear the hard F, you skipped over the U's. That's the reason why. It's just a psychological test, okay? Now, what's the point of this? It's not a pass or fail. The point is, there are always opportunities in front of us. It's a matter of learning how to see those opportunities. And that's what I want to be able to present today, is to show you how you can see opportunities that are always in front of you and be able to see opportunities and to seize the opportunities, okay? It's just like this. You guys all passed, okay? Everybody, yes, no worries now. All right, it works great with a large crowd, right? Because 50%, I was surprised no one's caught all 6 of them, but that's okay. All right, so now today what I'm going to be talking about is why internet advertising should be part of your marketing program. Now, to understand that though, I want to step back and take a look at the big picture of marketing and sales in general, okay? So I'll talk a little bit about the basic principles, and then we'll go into how internet advertising fits it. All right, so there are basically 3 principles that you have to have if you're going to have an effective sales and marketing program. The first is see enough people. That's what marketing's all about. See enough people. Now this is where you do a little bit of math. You need to know your numbers, all right? For example, many of you guys that have been in business for a while, how many people do you need to see to make 1 sale, right? You need to see 5 people. You need to see 10 people. Can you close it after, you need to see 2 people and make 1 closing. You need to know how many people you need to see before you make a closing, correct? Now, I put why 5. Why 5? I believe that you should have at least 5 different marketing programs to be successful. This is one of them, networking. You guys agree?
Sure.
Okay. What are some other marketing programs?
Advertising.
Okay, advertising. What else?
That covers everything. Advertising.
Sure.
Search engine.
Search engine. Okay. Business cards. Okay. What? Social media. Okay. What else?
Referrals.
Huh?
Referrals.
Referrals. Yes, absolutely. Now, something that most people don't like to use is telemarketing, but that's still a marketing program. All right. So you should have at least 5 different marketing programs. I don't care what you do for a living, all the time. Okay, because you never know which hooks. We used to call hooks in the pond, right? You never know which hook's going to bring up the fish. So have 5 different marketing programs or more and going on at any particular time. So that's seeing enough people. The next thing that's important is learning to say the right things. That's what sales is all about, saying the right things. There's 4, okay, in order to say the right things, you need to answer the right question. The first thing, I'll talk about 33 in just a second, but the first thing is this: why should I do business with you? Why should I do business with you? Again, in 30 seconds, can you tell me why I should do business with you? Now, this is why we do those 30-second elevator speeches in the very beginning. It gives you a chance to practice your elevator speech. It gives you a chance to sell yourself. Why should I do business with you? Okay. Now, just a couple of hints. One is that go beyond who you are and what you do. Go beyond who you are and what you do, and focus on what is the benefit of what you do. For example, let's say we had a couple of realtors. One realtor could say, hey, I'm Joe Smith, and I sell homes, I buy homes, I help you, right? Sell homes, buy homes, right? On the other hand, another realtor, Mary Jones, says, I help people buy the American dream. Now, who do you want to do business with? The person that sells homes, or the one that's going to help me buy the American dream? As Margaret mentioned, I used to work in the insurance industries, and so we would train our sales agents on the elevator sales. And so someone would say, I build walls to protect castles. Okay? I restore people's lives. I restore people's dreams. Now, is that the kind of person you want to do business with? Or do you want to do business with a person who says, hey, my name is Peter Young and I sell auto insurance? Right? Okay, so focus on what the benefit is. What is the benefit of your products? Many of you guys are in the health industry, right? We restore lives. We make your life happy. We make your spouse happy. Well, you figured out that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, if you have a personality where you can be funny and say outrageous stuff like that, do it. Okay, people will love you. There was a lady I met. She says this, my name is, I'll use Mary Smith again. My name is Mary Smith, and I help people sleep at night. Okay, well, she says it was funny, all right? Anyways, all right, so okay, another thing too. So the first thing you're selling is yourself, all right? So that's what the elevator speech is. The second thing, I believe is important, is to sell the appointment. Why should I meet with you? Now, most people, hey, they're so busy. Can you send me an email? Can you just give me a quote over the phone? Right. I believe that in most businesses, if you can meet the person, you increase the likelihood of closing the deal. Agree? And so the question you need to answer is, well, why should I meet with you? This is about handling objections. And objections usually fall into 3 or 4 different categories. No need, no time, no trust, and just give me a quote, right? Let's talk about no need. Again, so let me pick up, since most of you guys are in the health industry, let me just pick on that for a little bit. They'll say, so you say, of course you give your elevated speech, and then you say, you'd like to meet with them to see if we can help them with their health, right? And they say, don't worry, Peter, I'm already healthy, I don't need your help, right? So how do you handle that objection? Those are things that you need to learn how to handle. Okay, let me give you just one quick one. It's called feel, felt, found. Have you guys heard that before? You have? Okay, great. Okay, feel, felt, found. Okay, the first part is you empathize with them. I understand how you feel. Most people have felt the same way until they found out how my product can benefit them. Feel, felt, found. It works for it regardless of what industry you're in. Okay? I understand how you feel. Most people felt the same way until they found out how my product can benefit them. Why not let me just review and see if we can help you out? Okay? So those are one of the things. People that say no time, that's pretty easy. And by the way, no time is usually not the real reason. When they say that they don't have time to meet with you, that's just a quick way of getting out of something, right? So you just say, hey, no problem. I'm available at 7 o'clock at night, Thursday. How about this Thursday? Oh, no, I'm too busy for that. How about Tuesday? No. How about, well, I'll tell you what, I'm available on Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock. Okay, now if time is really the objection, then they'll say, yeah, no problem, let's do that, okay? If that's not the real objection, what they'll say is what? Well, really, it's my cousin takes care of my insurance, or I already have someone, I have my doctor, I have a dietitian that helps with my health and stuff like that. So now you get into the real objection. And then now you go back to answering the no need objection, okay? So that's the second, so you learn how to answer the right questions, you'll get more business. The next thing I think is important is answering this question. Why should I give you my personal information? Now that sounds kind of weird, okay? But think about this. You guys are all sales professionals. What that means is that you're a consultant. You want to find out what people's needs are, diagnose the problem, and solve it, right? But the best way you can solve people's problems, you got to know more information about them. The more information you know about the people, the better you can align your solutions to the problems. Does that make sense? And so you're going to do what we call a positioning statement, and that answers the question, well, why should I give you my personal information? And so basically what you want to do is go, when you're talking with them, this is when you're actually sitting down and meeting with them now, okay? And so you're going to say, again, so let me tell you a little bit about myself. Okay, you're selling yourself again. Let me tell you a little bit about my company. Saying, we've been around since 2004, and we've helped hundreds of thousands of people restore their lives. And now here's the part that gets people to that will open up people to share personal information with you. Now, as a professional, in order for me to do my job, I need to find out about you. I need to find out, what ailments you have. We talked about health again. What bothers you? What concerns you? So that I can, see if I can put together a program that's best going to be fit for you. Does that make sense? Now, when you ask that question, does that make sense? And they say yes. What did they just give you permission to ask?
All those questions.
All those questions. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. So again, saying the right things. If you don't do a good position statement and you don't really know what supports them, you're not going to get as much sales. And then the last question that you have to learn how to answer is this. Why should I buy from you? Okay? And all this is addressing is what are the benefits, what are the advantages of what you have to offer. Now I'm going to address that a little bit later in the presentation. 30 and 3, you guys want to know what 30 and 3 means, right? Okay, in face-to-face sales, you only have 30 seconds to make the sales. That's what we do our elevator speech. Now, in internet advertising, however, is a different game. You only have 3 seconds to make the sales. If you're going to advertise on the internet, if you don't capture their attention, if you don't compel them, if you don't touch their hot button in 3 seconds, you've lost the sales. Okay? So we're going to teach you how to say the right things in internet advertising when we get down to that part. Any questions about saying the right things? Great. All right.
Just start over again so I can write it on.
Already, this is the second time you hear my presentation.
That's good.
Is there just a slew of coin phrases that mix with the general public, or say you're in one neighborhood per se that has a completely different class of people, vice the other, but you're selling the same product? You can go up to one door and say, "Hey, Mamma Jamma, what's up?" and you're going to have their attention right away. However, next neighborhood, gated community, it's not going to fly.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're on your toes, or that's the first 30 seconds right there.
Sure.
So you need to know the person before you talk to them.
No, not at all, because remember, let's suppose here, a lot of us know each other, but a lot of times when I go to mixers, after-hour events, etc., I really don't know a lot of those people. So you're going to have to, you're going to play around with it. I mean, I've changed my position, I've changed my elevator speech many times. Okay, but you're just going to have to keep playing around, and that just comes with experience. So, but yeah, I mean, if you really know your audience, I mean, if you know, for example, you use your example, and I've been to, if you guys know what the Golden Gate Business Association is in San Francisco, you know that's a gay chamber of commerce, whatever. Honestly, it works no matter where you're at. But I mean, if you really do believe that a different audience will take a different elevator speech, by all means use it. That just comes with experience. Okay, that's just going to be experience.
How about if you fail the first time, can you go back and try and beat them down the second?
Oh, absolutely. But by the way, there is no failure as long as you're learning from it.
You don't beat anybody down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep asking.
Just keep asking. And hopefully they won't remember you next time anyway. So.
Okay.
Okay. The next thing I believe is fundamental to an effective sales and marketing program is believing the right things. A couple of things. One is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. I mean, I know this is really fundamental. You got to believe in yourself. Now, by the way, if you don't realize it, if you've already been in business for a while, you are the expert in what you do. You got to believe in yourself. And why do I say that? Because I guarantee you know 95% more than 95% of the people out there. Okay? So don't be ashamed to call yourself an expert on health and nutrition. Don't be afraid to call yourself an expert on social media, internet advertising, etc. You are the expert. And that's why people come to you. If you're not the expert, why should I do business with you, right? So you got to believe in yourself, first thing. Second thing you need to understand is that your product is not your product. You guys understand what I'm talking about? Your product is not your product. Zango juice is not your product. Internet advertising is not my product. Your product is you. You're the product. You're the solution. The Zango is a tool to help someone feel better, but you're the one that's educating your customers. You're the solution. Does that make sense? So in believing the right things, you have to understand that you're the product. That's why we do elevator speech, because you're learning to help people understand why they need to do business with you. One more thing on believing the right thing is sort of related, but not really, but it's sort of related. Okay, I'm going to talk about financial thermostat. You guys heard of this before? Financial thermostat? What a financial thermostat is that, let me ask you guys, how does a regular thermostat work? What's that? Regulates temperature, right? So if you set it at 70 degrees, it's going to stay 70 degrees, correct? What happens when the temperature goes up? Thermostat will drop the temperature down. What happens if the temperature goes too cold, gets too cold? What happens?
Heat gets turned on.
And then it goes up what? Right there, right? Now, we all have, mentally speaking, we have a financial thermostat. In your mind, whether you realize it or not, you have a value what you think you're worth. So, for example, let's take someone that makes $70,000 a year. They make $70,000 a year this year, next year, every year, and they lose their job. Well, what kind of job do you think they're going to look for?
$70,000.
Well, why is that?
Because that's what they feel they're worth.
Right, exactly. Okay, so are they going to work at McDonald's? No, they're going to look for something, like you said, make $70,000, or at least has the potential to make $70,000. Now, let's suppose, for whatever weird reason, the next 2 years they make $80,000, $90,000. Okay? What do you think is going to happen after that?
It's getting too hot.
Okay, and then what happens?
Cooler kicks on.
Okay, yeah, and then for whatever reason, it drops down to $70,000. And it's because we are mentally programmed to believe that's all we're worth. Now, if you're used to making $100,000, it's because your thermostat is set at there. So, in order to change the temperature, what do you have to do, right? You have to change the thermostat. You have to change what you believe about what you're worth. Okay? So, part of marketing success really is about believing the right things. You want to be successful, you've got to change the way you think. All right, any questions about what we've covered so far? It was close to this. Here it comes. All right, so in summary, what's the purpose of marketing? What's the purpose of marketing?
Expose your products.
Expose your products? Okay, what else?
Expose yourself.
Expose yourself? Okay, what else?
Your livelihood.
What's that?
Your livelihood.
Your livelihood. Okay, great. Let me talk about that. All right, now I'm going to state the obvious. The purpose of marketing is to make money. I know I'm stating the obvious, but it's to make money. How many guys are in business for profit?
Yes.
Okay, no non-profit people, charity, right? Okay, except for Elias, he's in business for, right? He's here charity giving his time to us, right?
That's great.
Okay. So we have to applaud.
And the money just magically appears in my mailbox every day, right?
If you join Zenko, yes it will, okay?
In my snail mailbox, that is too, right? Yeah.
You know, just a little play for the word. Okay, we're in business to make money. So when you're looking at different marketing programs, you have to ask yourself, is it making me money? Okay, obvious, right? Yes.
Can I interrupt for a second? I heard this once before, and somebody said the purpose of the business is to make money, but really the purpose of business is to find and keep customers. How would you feel about that?
It's to make money, because if you can get customers, but if they're not making you money, you're out of business. That's what we're for profit. You have to, again, it has nothing to do with greed, by the way, for some people that have funny feelings about that. But if your business isn't thriving and making money, you're going out of business, no matter how many customers you have. Okay? And so you have to make money. Marketing has to bring in money. If it doesn't bring in money, you're out of business, unless you're living at home. Okay?
Mom and Dad.
Yeah, and you're still out of business. Okay? All right, so, no, that's just an opinion thing, okay?
Yeah.
And that's fine. I mean, if people brings in money, great. But in the end, it has to bring in money, okay? Now, there are, right, the purpose of it is revenue. Your marketing program has to be effective in bringing in revenue. It has to result in money. I mean, okay, I'm telling you guys, it just has to, all right? Now, there are 4 different sources of revenue. I'll go through this really quickly here. The first is new business revenue. The second is repeat business. The fourth is referral business. And the third is referral business, and the fourth is recovery business. Let me kind of explain for some of those what I mean by these. New business is customers that have never used your product or services before. You have to have a meaningful marketing program to bring in new business to keep growing. Repeat business, of course, is that you have existing customer base. And by the way, once you get your, let me call it book of business, because like I said, I used to work in insurance, so I'm used to that term. But once you have your book of business or your customers built up, man, that's the best source of new business. That's the best source of repeat business. That's the best source of everything business. So it's really important to build your book of business as quickly as possible. And so again, too, if you're looking at different marketing programs, understand what source of revenue is that marketing program going to do for me. Does that make sense? Repeat business, referral business, of course, you have a special promotion, you're sending out on your Facebook, hey, I got a special promotion, refer someone to me, I give you $100, right? So you have to have some kind of meaningful referral business marketing program. And then recovery business, what I mean by that, those are people that used to be in your fold, they used to be part of your book of business, and they left you for whatever reason. Maybe your company tipped them off, they're unhappy with the price, unhappy with the service, and they left you. And I define someone that's left you for over a year. Okay, someone that's left over a year. So you need to have some kind of marketing program to do what? To bring them back, to beg them, sorry, I don't know what I did wrong, but give me a second chance, if I give you 10% off, would you come back again? So you need to have some kind of marketing program for recovery. Now, for anybody that's been in business for 10 years or more, think about how many people, how many lives you ever touched. Now, and that has left you. A lot of businesses have lost thousands and thousands of customers. Now, can you imagine getting at least 10% of that back? What would that do to your business? It would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Okay. And so, again, marketing has to drive revenue. Whatever marketing program you use, think in terms of which revenue source will it drive for me. Now, so again, marketing, it has to be effective in getting revenue, and it also has to be efficient on the bottom line. Efficient, what I mean by efficient is that whatever marketing program you use has to help you manage your expenses efficiently to drive the bottom line. And the bottom line is ROI, return on investment. Are you making a profit? Is that marketing program helping you make money? Again, we're in business to make money. Do you still want to feed your family? Do you want to invest in real estate someday? Do you want to grow your business? Then you need ROI. Okay, make sense? All right. All right, so that's the big picture of marketing and sales. Okay, yeah. Oh, one more thing I forgot about this. All right, one more thing too. With your marketing program, it's got to be measurable. Right? What gets measured gets treasured. Now, I think I'm saying that wrong, but I forgot what the real saying is, okay? But I couldn't think of what it was. But it's still true more or less. What gets measured gets treasured. If you cannot measure your marketing program, how do you know it's making money for you? How do you know? Right? You don't know. You may be just shooting, you may be throwing your money away. Or you may have actually hit a gold mine and think, but if you don't know it's making money, you might stop it because you think it's too expensive. Right? And that may be the very thing that brought you money. So it has, whatever marketing program you use, it has to be measurable. Okay. All right, any questions on the big picture of marketing and sales? Yeah.
The internet aspect of marketing is terrific, awesome. What if your market is local? You don't want it to go big, so you're getting false advertising. Is there any way to, say for one-click ads, for instance, anybody within a local region is clicking on it, now they're starting to coin in? Because if it's unsustainable to grow to the top, and then false advertisement hits, you can get a bad name by accident, right? So
Right.
that would be bad marketing, unsustainability. So can you market on the internet using that tool, but lock it in, not allow it to go out to the East Coast warning?
Oh, right, exactly. Yeah, you can limit, I'll actually, let me address that when I start talking about internet advertising.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Right. So yeah, that's what, in fact, by the way, thank you for that, rolling to the next section. Okay, internet advertising, why do it? Okay, well, why should people have an effective internet advertising program? Well, let me tell you, over 80% of people use Google to search for products and services worldwide. I mean, it's just amazingly nuts, okay? It's very effective. You can find things on the internet really quickly. By the way, has anybody ever looked for a product service online on Google? How many people do it? Okay. I would say most people do, right? And so, if you're just like most people, why wouldn't you want to advertise on the internet? Okay. Now let's talk about how does it fit into your marketing program. All right. Now I don't do search engine optimization. This is the person you want to talk to, and you can correct me if I actually flub up your part, but but anyways, search engine optimization is basically, just like it says, it's optimizing your website to get more people to come to your website. The more relevant your website is, the more traffic that goes to your website, the better your website ranks on the first page of Google searches, because Google thinks it's very important, okay? Now, search engine optimization is great for, if you're looking for like new business, and I think if you set it up correctly with social media, I think it's awesome for your repeat business, keeping your customers in contact. The more times you touch your customers, the more they remember you. They don't want you don't want them to forget who you are for their next purchase, correct? The other thing that's, I think, pretty effective with search engine optimization, especially when you tie in social media effectively, is, again, it's not only repeat business, but referral business. I mean, have you guys used social media, Facebook, to ask for referrals yet? If you haven't, you're missing out, man.
Yeah,
Okay?
we do it.
It
Yep.
is such an effective way of doing that. And so that's what I think search engine optimization is all about there. Now, a lot of people think that SEO is free. All that means is that Google doesn't charge you to optimize your web page, right? I still believe that if you want to do an effective job, you still need to hire a professional to do that, okay? Now, what we do is is called search engine marketing. Those are the paid ads or pay-per-click ads. So when you type in a product or service under Google, usually the top 2 or 3 ads and then the ads on the right-hand side, those are paid ads. And the reason why people are willing to pay to be there, because it significantly increases your visibility without having your website optimized. It captures people's attention, and you think about the way people read, right? They go from left to right, top to bottom. So if your ad is on the top, and it's a very well-crafted ad, what's the likelihood of someone clicking on it? Okay? The other thing, too, is that if you do it correctly, it's focused primarily on new business. I'll talk about that in just a second here. So, a couple of things that search engine marketing can do. One is branding and visibility. Branding and visibility. This is especially important if you're introducing a new product to the market and no one's ever heard of your product before. So you want to get your product out there. One of the things that Google allows for is what we call banner ads or display ads. And so, have you guys ever been on websites, blogs, newsletter, or even your email and you see these ads that just kind of pop up everywhere?
Yeah.
Those are the banner ads. Those are the display ads. And that's great for getting visibility out there. Intel, for example, how many people buy Intel directly from Intel? Well, no one does, right? They're just microprocessing chips and so forth. But why on earth would Intel put banner ads, display ads everywhere? Well, because they're trying to get in your mind that brand name so that the next time you buy a computer, you want to make sure it has Intel parts, like this one, okay? And so that's why Intel really literally will spend $30,000 a month just to banner ad because they want everybody to remember them. So that's one of them. The other, of course, is new business. It's search engine marketing. If it's done correctly, it specifically targets people that are looking to purchase now, people that need services now. It's not for people that are researching, right? What is a dentist? What is a doctor? But it's for people that says, I need a doctor now. I got a bad toothache. I need a dentist now. My back is killing me. I need a chiropractor now. Does that make sense? And so, if it's done correctly, it will laser target people that want your product and services now. Now, let's talk about how it works and why it's important. The first thing is keyword searches. Let me just kind of click through real quickly. Okay, keyword searches. So the way it works, of course, is that when let's pick on no chiropractors here, so we'll pick on chiropractors. All right, someone's in back pain, right? They type in chiropractor in Tracy, California. What happens? Boom, a list of chiropractors pop up. And I worked with someone that said, oh, hey, look, Peter, my ad's popping right there. So why do I need you, right? Well, there are many different ways people will type in to find your services. So let's suppose they type in, do you guys do physical therapy? Yes, we do. Physical therapist in Tracy, California. Guess what? That didn't show up. See? But that's a service that you need. Or you guys, and this particular office has a massage therapist on. Okay, great, let's talk to a massage therapist. Their ad doesn't pop up. Why? Because it only pops up for that one key search word. Our job, if it's done correctly, is to make sure your ad pops up in all relevant products and services that you have to offer. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. The reach. All right. So we already talked about that. Okay. Yeah, we already talked about that. So that's the biggest thing is we're trying to reach out in many different ways. Again, with chiropractors, back pain, need relief. Is your ad popping up for that? Anybody ever get like numbness in the arm? There's a real term for that, it's called radiculopathy. Someone said that, yes, that really is a real word. Radiculopathy means that your nerve is pinched, something's pinching your nerve in your arm, your limb, something's going numb. Okay, and so, okay, great, thanks. All right, so it's real important that we're typing in we're looking for all the different keywords that people will likely type in to find your products and services. All right, geo-targeting. This is to your question here. With pay-per-click advertising, you can target specifically where you want your ads to show up. If you only want it to show up is in Tracy, California, that's all it will show up. If you want it to show up in Northern California, we can immediately show your ad in all over Northern California. If you want your ad to show worldwide, your ad can show worldwide through Google Ads. It's amazing what you can do. Or if you want to just pick a couple of spots, maybe you like California, Nevada, but you hate Washington, so you skip Washington and go to Utah. You can do that. We can have your ad show up anywhere. That's what geo-targeting means. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, is there a higher cost for a larger market?
It depends on the vendor you use. Okay, some vendors do not charge extras. Well, they ask me not to promote myself, but no, there's no extra charge with us. But it depends on what vendor you use. Some charge more for different locations, others don't.
Okay.
Who asked you not to promote yourselves?
What's that?
You can actually mention what you offer
Okay.
towards the end. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Margaret.
I have a real quick question. You mentioned that Google is worldwide, you tap into a worldwide market. How many people are actually online at any specific time, do you think? Just about numbers.
I really don't. Maybe I would be guessing. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yes. Well, I would be guessing. I would be guessing maybe 1 billion people. It's hundreds and hundreds of millions for sure. But I would be guessing though. Okay. Sorry, Margaret. No problem. So that's what geo-targeting means. Okay, so the next thing that's important too is the text ads themselves. Now this is the 3-second rules. You only have 3 seconds to make the sales. Okay, in 3 seconds, you need to answer these 3 questions. Is it relevant? In other words, is this what I'm looking for? So I'll give you another example. Typed in attorneys in Modesto, California, and back up. We typed in the special attorneys. Let's say like a estate planning attorney or a family law attorney, right? Okay, so family law attorney pops up. Is it really relevant? There was one ad, all it had was the guy's name. It had said, Joe Smith, Esquire. Well, most people don't know what an Esquire is. You guys know what an Esquire is, right? That's just another word for attorney. Okay, and so that's not very relevant, but it still popped up anyways. Whereas now you have another person, Mary Jane, says family law practice. So which one's more relevant, right? So relevance is really important. Compelling means this. Why should I choose you? What's the benefit? Back to the chiropractor. 30 years experience. We heal you now. We make you smile. We make you happy. You can jump and shout again, right? But there's got to be something compelling. And then there has to be a strong call to action. Now, this may seem strange. You would think that people would know to click on the ad. But most people are followers. They want to be told what to do. Okay? You guys agree? Okay. How many of you guys have ever missed a sale because you didn't ask the person to pull out their checkbook?
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't ask for the checkbook, if you don't tell them to sign right here and date it and put, oh, by the way, it's the $1,000, you're not going to get the money. So you have to have a call to action. And that means basically, call us now. See how we can help you. They won't use the word click. I'm trying to avoid the word click. But you have to give some kind of call to action, right? Contact us. Fill out this form, something, and that, believe it or not, will help increase the likelihood of someone actually clicking on your ad. All right, the next thing that's important is what we call the landing page. When someone actually clicks on your text ad, you're taken to a website, and that's called a landing page. That's the first page that the searcher sees. And again, too, 3-second rule applies. Now, in 3 seconds, you need to answer these 4 questions. Is it relevant? Again, are you what I'm looking for? Typing out, need renter's insurance. Is it say renter's insurance, or does it take me an auto insurance company, right? Benefits. No, this is what I want to focus on. What are the advantages of choosing you? Now, this is where you have to understand the difference between features, functions, and benefits. Okay, just a little education here. Most unfortunate people focus on features and functions. All right, they focus. Let's talk about automobiles. You're focusing on it's the features. It's brand new. It's wide. It's big. It can carry 1,000 tons. Right? The function is what does it do? The function is like it can haul. Right? The verbs. It can haul. It can speed. It can do this and that and the other thing. But it's the benefits that sell. See, the features and functions. Think about it this way. That's analytical information. That only ministers to the left half of your brain. But people buy on the right half. The right half is emotional. The right half is the stories. The right half of your brain is where people can identify with you. So it has to be an emotional sales. Does that make sense? In other words, why do people buy Mercedes? Because it's reliable?
Status symbol.
Because it makes me feel important. It makes me feel like $1 million. It makes my neighbors envious of me. Okay? So it has to be whatever. Look into just a little tip. Whatever you're selling, you're selling to the emotion. You're appealing to the emotional side of a person. Okay? And then come out. Well, why should I choose you? Contact us now. Free consultation. 10% off. We'll throw in a wheel of one, whatever. There's got to be something that compels someone to want to click on to call you now, to take action now, right? And finally, call to action. This will sound kind of strange, but you need to make sure your phone number and your contact information is very conspicuous. Have you guys ever gone to the site where you say, okay, I want to do business with them, and then you have no idea how to contact them?
Right.
Why would you, on earth, would you hide that information? Isn't that the most important information?
Yep.
Make it big, make it loud, make it stand out, all right? And by the way, you only have 3 seconds to get that point across. All right? So don't clutter up your landing page. Keep it simple. All right, finally, what gets measured gets treasured. With internet advertising, we can measure literally everything. We know exactly how many people saw your ad. We call those impressions. And your ad can be seen anywhere from hundreds to thousands of times a day, depending on how big of a territory you want to advertise. We also know how many people actually clicked on your ad and saw your landing page and read your landing page. And by the way, if you set it up correctly, you can also know how many people actually contacted you. You can also know who contacted you, when they contacted you. If it's by phone, you know when they called you. Yeah, you know who contacted you because they'll have the phone number as long as they don't block it. And you know how long they actually spoke to your sales representative too. It's amazing. So you basically, by being able to measure everything, you can have complete control over your sales pipeline. Now think about this. If you get 10 people that are interested in your product or services give you a call, how many of those can you close? 10? Okay. Right? So now suppose since you're the big cheese now, and you're all the calls go to your sales reps, and they only close 1. So what's the problem?
They're trained.
Okay, great. See, this is what's beautiful about the whole program. Now you know where you need to fix the sales pipeline. It's training people on back to the beginning, how to say the right things. And so this gives you complete control over your marketing, your sales pipeline. And think about this. Now you have amazing control over how much money you want to make because you are in control. And that's what an effective internet marketing program will do for you. Okay, any questions about what we talked about so far?
Not enough time, Peter.
No, I know.
Man, it's about the 45-minute mark right now.
What's that?
So you're at the 45-minute mark right now, so we got to wrap these up soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick, the one last thing I do want to talk about, going back to believe the right things. 2 things. And this is something that I see a lot of people not believing in themselves enough doing. One is this: how much time do you spend in marketing? All right. How much time are you, if you really believe in yourself and what you have to offer, how much time are you spending marketing? Now, I'm going to give you my opinion. You need to spend at least 80% of your time marketing. 10% maybe product training knowledge, 10% in administration. What a lot of people do is because they go with wherever their strengths are, right? So if you're very strong in administration, unfortunately a lot of people spend 80% of their time on administration. Administration means filling out paperwork, answering the phones, emails, whatever. You're wasting your time. You got to be spending your time in marketing. The other thing too is your revenue. How much of your revenue are you spending in marketing and sales? Again, this is where you make money. The marketing is the lifeblood of your business. If you're not rolling money back into the business, it's going to be really tough to make it work. You got to believe in yourself enough to invest into yourself. All right, my time is up. Is my time? Any final questions?
10% was administration, and what was the other 10%?
Oh, product, yeah. Yeah.
Would you recommend deleting cookies or your cache in your computer on a regular basis?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
All right.
That's it? Okay.